Ladies and gentlemen, who did better? Morph sequence comparison. Super Sentai versus Power Rangers.
Yo guys, this is a comparison video. So we're checking out the morph sequences from Power Rangers and their original source, Super Sentai. Just a heads up, we're only focusing on the ones that are totally different in concept. So let's get into it.
Zero Ranger and MMPR.
There was no special morph or henshin sequence, so they would just strike a pose with their changer, and the scene would immediately cut to their ranger form. Yep, that's it. Pretty short, right? Also, there was actually an original morph sequence made for the Power Rangers pilot episode, but for several reasons, it was ultimately abandoned. Instead, they created an original one, which continued to be used up until the third season, even though the cast had already been replaced. This is one of the most iconic morph scenes in Power Rangers, with its catchphrase still being used even in the latest seasons. The scene is pretty simple. The Rangers press the trigger on the Power Morpher and call out their dinosaur motif. Then, their suits form perfectly. Basically, it's like they're inside the Power Morpher while it's all happening. Yep, it's pretty simple. But actually, this scene doesn't exist in the original Super Sentai version.
Car Ranger and Turbo.
In contrast, the Carringer version features a much shorter and faster transformation scene. After activating the changer, the scene quickly cuts to each Ranger's vehicle speeding forward and then immediately to them already fully transformed. It's a very simple sequence, clearly inspired by the henshin scene from the 13th Super Sentai, Turbo Ranger, which makes sense as Car Ranger was a parody of that season. Actually, there are two morph sequences in this season, but they're essentially the same. The first is used by the original team, led by Tommy, and the second by the replacement team, led by TJ. In both versions, the morph sequence starts with a half-body shot of the Rangers striking a pose. The suit then magically forms around their bodies until it's fully assembled. The only noticeable difference between Tommy's and TJ's versions lies in the helmet formation, the voice command, and the animation used, but the overall concept remains the same.
Gingaman and Lost Galaxy.
Meanwhile, in the original Japanese version, the Rangers raise their hands into the air, and then their respective elements swirl around their bodies to form the entire suit. Yep, those two scenes are quite different. Additionally, the Japanese henshin sequence was also used in the crossover episode between Lost Galaxy and Lightspeed Rescue. It's unclear why they used it, considering they already had their own. This season also features a rather short morph sequence, where during the morph, the Rangers only make a small hand gesture to form the helmet, as their suits have already formed shortly after activating the morpher. As a detail, each Ranger's elemental power is shown as the background. Meanwhile, in the
Go-Go 5 and Lightspeed Rescue.
Let's take a look at the Go-Go 5 first. When the transformation begins, the Rangers appear to remove their rescue jackets, and the suit forms piece by piece until the respirator and helmet complete the transformation. As a visual detail, a fiery background is shown that matches the color of each Ranger. And here's the Lightspeed Rescue version. The visors will appear first, matching the shape and color of each Ranger. Then, the object begins to move through the Rangers' bodies to form the entire suit. The respirator and visor will also form as the final touch. A moving tunnel is shown in the background, making it feel more unique, and I think it's really cool. Additionally, this concept is also used for the 6th Ranger, but with a different direction.
Time Ranger, and Time Force.
The original Super Sentai version, the Henshin sequence is created entirely using CGI. Another unique aspect is that before transforming, the Rangers change into their uniforms first. So after activating their changers, they jump and their suits begin to form completely. The background consists of numbers representing time, which align with the theme of the season. The morph sequence is much shorter in Power Rangers Time Force. The DNA shows up right after they activate the morphers, flows into the Rangers' bodies, and boom! Their suits are fully formed in no time. I don't think time travel and DNA have any real connection, but perhaps it can be accepted, since in the story, the morpher is linked to the user's DNA. For example, Wes is the only one who can use the morpher because he shares the same DNA as Alex, his predecessor.
Abba Ranger, and Dino Thunder.
It's pretty different from the ABBA Ranger version, where the Rangers just do one pose and then their suits magically show up. Super simple. They even remade this scene for the ABBA Ranger anniversary back in 2023. All the Rangers use this morph sequence, including the White Ranger, but with a bit of a twist. When they morph, they do a backflip, and their suits appear right then. After that, the helmets pop on, and it wraps up with a cool pose in front of their dinosaur. Honestly, Disney loves throwing in poses like this in pretty much all their series. It's pretty...
Deca Ranger, and SPD.
Meanwhile, in Super Sentai, the Henshin sequence is way shorter. Once they activate the changer, the suit just appears right away. Only the helmet needs a bit of extra flair. Simple, but still cool. The Deca suit is sent from Deca base as tiny particles called Deca metal. Yeah, that's what the narrator says during the Henshin sequence. In the Power Rangers version, their suits show up right after they hit the morpher trigger. By doing a backflip, the suit automatically attaches to them. As usual, once the helmet forms, they each strike their signature cool pose. Meanwhile, in Super
Bokenger, and Operation Overdrive.
In Bolkenja, after they spin the wheel on the changer, the scene cuts to the logo. Then we see their vehicles rushing toward the camera, and the suits form really quickly. Yeah, that's all. It's really simple. What I love the most is the part where their helmets form. I don't know why, it's just really satisfying to watch. What about you guys? Power Rangers puts a big spotlight on the morpher, showing off how advanced it is. When the transformation starts, the morpher shows a visual of the suit and all the Ranger gear, and then the suit just forms and merges with them. Super simple, no flips or fancy moves. Now,
Geki Ranger, and Jungle Fury.
let's take a look at the original Geki Ranger. After they activate the changer, their Jukin beasts appear with a quick clawing motion. Then, with just one pose, the suit wraps around them and is instantly complete. Nice and simple, no fuss. With the new morpher being introduced, of course they came up with their own morph sequence. This time, they went with a mystical vibe for the scene. When the Rangers transform, they do a special move to call out their spirit animals. After that, they merge with the animal, and just like that, their suits fully form around them. This also goes for the Wolf Ranger. Now,
Go Onger, and RPM.
let's check out the Go On Joe version first. After they hit the changer, the suits start forming, and then other parts show up one by one, like the wheels on their knees and elbows, the seatbelt, and the number on their chest. The helmet gets put on manually, just like a race car driver. Yeah, it took a bit of time. Now, here's how Power Rangers RPM does it. When transforming, the Rangers speed forward like race cars on the track. passing by all the ranger gear displayed along the track. Right after they stop, the costume, seatbelt, and helmet quickly form. Honestly, it's pretty similar to the Operation Overdrive version, since both use a tech-based approach.
Ninja and Ninja Steel.
These two seasons actually have a pretty similar morph sequence concept, where the shuriken is the main focus in forming the costume, but the way they do it is quite different. In the Japanese version, a big shuriken shows up first, spins around, and then merges with the rangers' bodies to form the suit. After that, a smaller shuriken appears and spins in a similar way to create the helmet. This same sequence is also used for Star Ninja, though the direction is a bit different. On the other hand, in Power Rangers Ninja Steel, the shuriken on the morpher is thrown forward, it starts spinning around the rangers, and the suit forms as it goes. Then the helmet just kind of appears on them. This scene is also used for Levi, the Gold Ranger, and as a bonus, the Rangers always put on their special outfits during the transformation.
Real Soldier and Dino Fury.
Alright, let's start with the Japanese version. Right before they transform, the Ryu Soul Key pops up and starts dancing around the Rangers. Then, once they spin the changer, one of the Ryu Souls merges with them, and that's when the costume starts to form. After that, the chest logo and the helmet appear to complete the look. This transformation style is also used for the 6th Ranger, just like in Dino Fury, where the morph sequence concept applies to all the Rangers. So, when they spin the morpher, the scene shifts to a shot of the Rangers punching the ground, which creates a burst of energy that brings out their dinosaurs. Then, as they leap into the air, their bodies merge with the Morphin grid, and the suits are fully formed. Both versions wrap up with each Ranger striking their own cool pose. Alright guys, that's it for now. Some of the countless morph sequences will be included in another video. Thanks for watching, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.
That's it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe.